Hola! Today, we're going to be using the verb doler to talk about when things hurt. I am teacher Catalina, and if you're looking for a place to practice or learn Spanish, you are at the right place. Please, I'd love to invite you to click that subscribe button so that you and I can continue learning Spanish together. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps my channel. To my loyal viewers, thank you. It is because of you that I am able to bring these videos to everyone. This free handout is available at teachercatalina.com. And by the way, you can find all sorts of free resources to practice and learn Spanish. What are you waiting for? Make sure that you bookmark teachercatalina.com. Like I told you before, today we are learning how to use the verb doler, which is a very good and important verb to know in case you ever have to use it. Hopefully, you won't have to use it, but if you do, you want to know how to use it properly so that you can describe what is hurting. The verb doler is a little bit special, so we have to make sure that we pay really close attention to it so that we can use it correctly. The first thing that you need to know is that doler has a stem change. So, like poder, that O is going to change to UE. Very important to remember. Doler has a stem change. So that O changes to UE. So now that we've made that first connection, let's talk about the second important thing that we need to remember about the verb doler. Doler works very similar to the verb gustar. Do you remember gustar? To like? Well, doler is going to follow the same pattern. Basically, we have to bring back our indirect object pronouns, and there's going to be two forms of doler. That should be bringing back some memories, just like when you work with the verb gustar. When we learned about the verb gustar, and we use gustar to say we like something or something is pleasing to me, we learned that we would say things such as me gusta or me gustan, depending on how many things we like. Now, for the verb doler, it's going to be very, very similar. We're going to say me duele if one thing hurts, or me duelen if multiple things of the same body part hurt. I know it's a lot to remember, the stem change and kind of learning and connecting with the verb gustar, but don't panic. I'm going to walk you right through it little by little and step by step. So by the end of this video, you can use the verb doler properly to talk about the things that may hurt. Now remember, doler works like the verb gustar. So we have to bring our indirect object pronouns, and we have them right here on the board. Now, gustar has two forms, and doler has two forms. So let's go ahead and pop the two forms of the verb doler. We have duele, because remember, there's also a stem change. So that O changed to UE. So we have duele for singular and duelen for plural. So one more time, we have our indirect object pronouns. We do not use subject pronouns for the verb doler because we're saying that something is hurting us. So we're going to use me, te, le, nos, os, and les. And then we have two forms of doler, duele, for when one thing hurts, and duelen, for when multiple things of the same body part hurt. This should look very familiar if you're comfortable with the verb gustar. And it's basically the same process. We just have to remember there's that little extra step of that stem change. So we go from doler, which is to hurt, to duele, and then duelen. So how do you choose between singular and plural? Well, it depends on what is hurting you. Not how many people are hurting, but what is hurting you. For example, if my hand hurts, that's la mano, I would say, me duele la mano. Me duele la mano. But if both hands hurt, las manos, I would say, me duelen las manos. Me duelen las manos. Let's look at another example. So let's use a different body part. Maybe we want to say head. La cabeza. My head is causing me pain. So, how many heads? Good. One. Una cabeza. So, I'm going to say, me duele la cabeza. Me duele la cabeza. My head is hurting me, is causing me pain. Now, if I want to say his head is causing him pain or is hurting him, all I'm going to do is I'm going to select the correct indirect object pronoun. But how many heads are we still talking about? Good, just one, his head. So I would say, le duele la cabeza. Le duele la cabeza. His head is hurting him. Now, let's talk about los pies. Los pies. And I'm going to talk about our feet. You and me together, our feet. And I want to say our feet are causing us pain. So I'm going to say, nos duelen los pies. Nos duelen los pies. Nos, because we're talking about us. Duelen, because I'm talking about los pies, therefore it's plural. So, nos duelen los pies. Let's say that you're in a Spanish-speaking country and you have to go to a doctor or a hospital to talk about any symptoms or any pains that you may have in your body. You are now able to talk about the things that hurt. But let's look at this question. What if they ask you, ¿te duele la cabeza? ¿Te duele la cabeza? But your head does not hurt. You want to be able to talk about the things that are not causing you pain because you don't want to give that doctor the wrong symptoms. So how do you say something doesn't hurt? Do you remember when you learned the verb gustar? Where do you put the no? Excellent. You're right. You're going to put that no in front of your indirect object pronoun. So if the doctor asks me, ¿te duele la cabeza? But my head does not hurt, I am going to reply, no, no me duele la cabeza. No, no me duele la cabeza. Remember to always answer the question, in this case, no, and then negate your answer. No me duele la cabeza. The same thing would apply if we're talking about las manos, which is multiple. ¿Te duelen las manos? And my hands do not hurt. I would say, no, no me duelen las manos. No, no me duelen las manos. Whew! Now you know how to say something hurts and something doesn't hurt so that you can talk about any symptoms that you may be presenting. Now, make sure that you paid attention to the question. ¿Te duele something? In that case, ¿te duele la cabeza? Te is going to be used to ask you. But now remember, in Spanish-speaking countries, we may choose to treat somebody as tú or as usted. So if the doctor or the nurse is being formal, they may say, ¿le duele la cabeza? ¿Le duele la cabeza? And why is that? Because they're treating you as an usted. So kind of remember that. Either way, regardless, whether the doctor or nurse asks you with te or le, and they're talking to you, you will answer with me. Or no, no me, duele, or duelen, and then whatever the body part is. By the way, if you want to review body parts, because you definitely want to know what all of the body parts are in case they hurt, make sure that you look at this video here so that you can review that on your own. Now, let's do a very quick self-check quiz to see if you are comfortable with the verb doler. If you don't do very well, do not panic. Remember that this video is here for you to play and replay as many times as you need to. But I want you to do your best. ¿Listos? Ready? Okay. It's quiz time. Make sure that you listen to the question. Don't forget that you can pause for extra time if you need it. Provide your answer. And then, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to leave me a comment with any questions or concerns that you may have regarding this lesson. Also, take a few seconds to look at the reminders here. And we're ready. ¿Listos? ¿Qué le duele? Le duele la cabeza. ¿Qué te duele? Me duelen las manos. ¿Qué le duele? Le duele el estómago. ¿Qué te duele? Me duelen los dedos. ¿Qué te duele? Me duelen las manos. ¿Qué le duele? Le duele el estómago. ¿Cómo te fue? How did you do? I'm sure you did great, but if you need a little review, you know where to go. You can go to teachercatalina.com for a lot of free resources, or you can simply click replay on this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are comfortable with the verb doler. I surely had a great time teaching you. And please remember, it really helps my channel if you hit that like button. And of course, if you subscribe to, and I would love to continue teaching Spanish to you. One more time, don't forget that you can go to teachercatalina.com for this specific handout and a lot of other free resources. Muchísimas gracias y nos vemos la próxima vez. See you next time. Adiós.